Yeah, cool. Awesome. So we're live streaming on Twitter right now. I don't think that we're live streaming on LinkedIn. It's connected, but we're definitely live streaming on Twitter. I just checked. So awesome. So basically, oh, hey, there's Calvin as well. And we're just gonna throw him into the heat. No warning. Hey, Calvin.
Hey, what's up?
Good morning.
How's it going?
Good. So before you jumped on, we're live streaming right now on Twitter. We're gonna take about I don't know 10, 15 minutes just to talk about cool things we're working on, what's new, and so we'll kick it off. Bob, before we started, Bob was excited to start talking about the Diamond SDK. So what you got?
Yeah. So taking a page out of Calvin's playbook with the Fuel SDK that we're working on for their ecosystem grant program. Really excited by Fuel. And in parallel to that, over the course of, I would say, a year and a half, we've been working on a sort of diamond standard. And as we go for the next round and subsequent rounds of the remote control contesting with Super Chief, we're running towards a diamond pattern for that. And what it'll unlock is this ability to for creators to rapidly deploy configurable contracts on chain. And so the thought is deploy a sort of default contest structure, but gives us sort of a sandbox to deploy features that creators can cut into their contracts and instantly gain more capabilities. We think that's really exciting. Managing a diamond is kind of a mind fuck, in the sense there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of contracts on chain. So not just the function of executing these things, but storing the data and understanding like what facets are available and what version are they and where do they live and ABIs and all this other stuff. So as I said, took a page out of Calvin's playbook on his awesome Fuel SDK and started running at this Props Diamond SDK as well. And so what this is, what it is sort of an SDK wrapper. It contains a diamond manager. It contains a platform manager. It contains a catalog manager, and basically abstracts all the hard stuff away. So we get down to essentially like one line to do things like deploy my diamond with these features in it, update my diamond, replace this feature with a new one, so on and so forth. So a bit of dogfooding here, partly because as I get deeper and deeper into the construct, I understand it, but rather than having to re-implement hundreds of lines of code to do one small thing on the front end, I thought it'd be better to do that work now versus try to build an SDK around these contracts later. So that's what we're going for, and it's been really rapid and accelerating my dev. So I'm really excited by it. That's what I've been working on today. That's really cool.
Amazing, awesome, thank you. That is sweet. We're super excited to see it come together. And Ambra, you and I talked earlier about the upcoming prop shop, and would love, if you're open to share your screen, just walk through it a little bit, what the work is there, and crack it open.
So basically, what we've been working on is we've been working on a way to convert those digital assets into actual physical products. The way this is set up is you create an account, then you land on your profile, connect your wallet, and once you connect your wallet, you can submit some contracts. And if you're a creator on that contract, those tokens will get pulled in. And once those tokens get pulled in, they'll allow you to create a printing product that people can order so they can hang them on their wall or display them. And for now, we just selected a few print products: canvas, metal print, and framed photo. But basically, users will be able to select the product that they like. The system will automatically calculate the size or the recommended sizes for the specific artwork. And once they select the products that they want, they can easily add them to their products for sale. I'll get a little summary of the product that will be created, a mock-up of it, and once submitted, they'll have the products added to their creations where they can decide if they want to publish them or not for sale. Once they're published, people will have access to those products with a nice preview, and they can go in, well, where they'll get more info on the product, as well as able to select size for whatever the product they picked, or in the future we might have other products, not just print products. And that's about it.
That's awesome.
Build and ship.
Yep.
Looking
Yeah, it's
really
awesome. It's interesting too. This is just a little bit behind the scenes because we're, Ed at Super Chief, he was concerned about, file size and the quality of, like depending on what the image quality is, like, can we blow it up and it actually still continue to look good and not get pixelated and whatnot? And I assured him that we would use an upscaling tool, AI upscaling, to really make these really high fidelity, and that we could ultimately pull from any contract, right? So I know right now we've got the remote control contract, and that's really where the jump off point is. But really, we see this as like, hey, why shouldn't I be able to pull my art from a drop that I did on Zora or on Foundation or on Manifold or et cetera, or OpenSea, right? Why can't I just pull anything that I've done? So that's where we're going. So super excited to see this start to take shape and start to sort of get it into a beta stage next. So that's awesome. What else?
Calvin, you want to talk about fuel?
Yeah, happy to. So like you guys mentioned, been working hard on two fronts. On sort of fuel is preparing for the mainnet launch, which is what we were really excited about. And we are delivering an easy minting SDK for fuel as well, so the props fuel SDK. And it's really going to be abstracting, all the complexities from both sides, sort of the builder and integrator who want to build platforms on top of it, to be able to, let creators on the platforms create mints and obviously also mint them. And we really made it like a very, very slim SDK. So with about, 5 lines of code, you can get going, create your editions, collections, whatever you desire. We've also built a good set of builder incentives, so there's a full protocol behind it to allow people to go and say, okay, is that will creators on my platform, do I build in a revenue share, a fee, however I want to do that. So we really tried to give integrators of the SDK the maximum amount of options on how they want to integrate it and support the protocol on their platform. So it's really excited, and then with basically 1 line of code, you can mint it anywhere. And it's a fully decentralized SDK, right? It doesn't have any other dependencies. So you really can get going straight away. And that's really exciting. So that's what I'm about to wrap up. And in lieu of that, also working on sort of the platform front-end side, like we're moving Prime into supporting Fuel. And there's a lot of exciting things happening on what that means and what they will look like. And I guess in probably a day or two, also ready to share what that is going to look like on the front-end side. So really excited to make it easier to mint any asset on Fuel and unblock developers and integrators to do so.
Amazing.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah,
on top of that too, the indexer's neat. We've picked up HyperIndex through the Fuel ecosystem. We met those folks, and they've got a really great indexer solution. So a company that SDK, a couple flavors of really pretty straightforward deployment of your own indexer for your apps. But 2, we're thinking about deploying like sort of a really big centralized indexer for all the things that we touch. And so that's going to unlock a lot. So the central repository of all the contracts, all the events, everything that matters to the props ecosystem, and being able to essentially like integrate things together without a whole lot of heavy lift. So excited
Awesome.
by that.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. I can share really quick something I'm excited about that I was working on here this afternoon. So going back to, we've got some awesome grant ideas and proposals out there to a few different ecosystems. And one of the things that came up was being able to connect with even more people in those ecosystems to be able to see where great fits are, what needs are, maybe chat about some of the different pitches effectively that we have that we think are really awesome potentially for the ecosystem. So I started putting together a little GPT to help me find some of those people that aren't already in our network, right? And I want to just really quick run through the process where I'm at with that right now. I'll share my screen. And so I jump into GPT, right? And of course, I asked GPT how to help me write a great role description for a GPT that I'm after here. So I get some information back. I give it some feedback of honing it down. Actually honed it down to really about like finding other contacts in the network to be able to chat with and why, versus about additional proposals and available grants, and kind of trying to split that apart. And I think that's maybe like a whole nother little GPT that could help us. And so then ultimately I got to a place where it says, great, here's some questions that we should start to go through to refine this. And this is where I flipped into, right about here, where I flipped into the audio mode and started talking with it, right, to go a lot faster. And so I just conversed with GPT for, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. And, we just went through all the questions. And so I asked it to ask me each question one by one from each of the categories. And we went through them. I gave some feedback. It gave some recommendations. I accepted or refined some of their recommendations. We'd move on to the next question. Sometimes I'd go, hey, actually back on that one thing we were talking about, and I'd throw something else back into it, and it totally handled it. And so we went back and forth like that for, as you can see, the text on this is just like ridiculous. Again, this is like 15 minutes, right? And we get down to, we're not even there yet. We get down to ultimately, great. So now here is the GPT role description. So all of that to get this great defined tight description here to be able to run the GPT on. And so then that's where I'm at right now, right before this call. I'm going to try to go stop sharing. I threw this into Create GPT, just ran through a sample, got some feedback, and went through a loop of it. And so I got some updates I'm going to make here. It definitely turned up some things I wasn't expecting that were helpful. And so I want to refine that. The output didn't quite get to the format and stuff that I wanted it in, right? So I got to go back and refine it. It missed that. And I think I know how to fix that. And and then I'm going to look at maybe throwing in one of the Asian frameworks or something to run a bunch of this async, right? Because effectively, single player mode where I had to go back and forth and be okay, now look at this source, or now go down this path, or hey, go deeper on these types of contacts, right? And so I think I can spread that out and iterate through that and come back with a list of some helpful information that's both speedy and collected and even more relevant than just trying to buy a list from somewhere or something like that, right? I ask it score these and why, and tell me the one sentence why this is the one that you sent me, right? And it gets to pull all that information from all the sites and sources and literally articles that it found and said well, this is why this person's important, right? Versus just hey, I found them on LinkedIn and this is what their job description headline said. So I think, yeah, pretty cool. I'm going to try to wrap that up and throw that as a resource for us to use and be able to connect with more people in the ecosystems.
That's amazing. It's going to be awesome to automate that. And I could see a world where you flywheel it, and now in the sort of right way, if somebody responds to those initial outreaches, the GPT can pick it up and do some initial lightweight qualification, discovery, build out the knowledge. It's very cool.
Yeah, totally.
That's awesome. Dave, what about you?
I've been neck deep in this deck and getting the initial remote control partners contacted. Also taking a look at the fuel Launchpad and starting to build out the go-to-market plan. Looking at their documents around what they call their launch guide, co-marketing opportunities. There's a form there to fill out and whatnot, and starting to wrap my head around that, and also dropped an email out, copied you guys on that to who's the marketing operations contact, which is, his name's Rory. And yeah, that's been the brunt of it. And I'm going to be into screens, doing some Figma design and whatnot here this evening. So
Sweet.
Good day. Awesome.
So it sounds like
this is
we're
great.
going to make this a regular thing. Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah.
daily.
That's what we're gonna go after. Yeah, just pop it open, crack open screens, talk about what we're doing, and then be out. So yeah, so it will. We'll get better at. Right now, it's streaming to Twitter. I think it also posts. May create a post to LinkedIn, but we're gonna refine all that sort of automation side as well. That's a sprint waiting to happen, and when we do, we should break down how we're doing all of that automation. Sort of take a quick, round robin like this and atomize it out into a bunch of content and channels. And yeah, that's where we're going. So super, super exciting.